Hello and welcome to another episode of the Plus 63 HP podcast review edition. I am one of your hosts, John Clemente. Alongside with me are two of my bestest best friends, my brothers from another mothers. I'm going to start with a guy with a pink headset, CHUBAX.
Hello, I'm CHUBAX. You can call me Daddy.
We call him CHUBAX. And our other host and also brother, also best friend, RJ.
Hello, everyone. My name's RJ. Good to be here. Ready to review some awesome shows for you all.
And if you're just tuning in, the Plus 63 HP stable of podcasts, we have three shows. And this one we review and provide a little bit of a deep dive insight on some of the week on week shows that we've seen, as well as a couple of cool movies, maybe sometimes games, music, everything that we'd want you guys to know a little bit of our opinion of, so that you know when to watch it, how to watch it, or should you watch it at all. You can watch all of our shows on YouTube. Just search Plus 63 HP on the little search bar there. Hopefully, you can click like, subscribe, share it with your friends, provide us with comments. Let us know what you think. You can also interact with us on Twitter and on Instagram. Our handle is Plus 63 HP. And if you don't want to see our voices or you just want to put us in the background, just listen to us. We are in every single podcasting application that you might think of. We prefer Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. Along with this review show that comes out Tuesdays, noon Philippine time. We also have our very first D&D run through that comes out every Wednesday, also noon Philippine time. So you want to see a couple of middle-aged dudes run a D&D game clumsily, a little bit fun. It's been a trip. We've always wanted to do it. We just didn't know how to do it when we were kids. Now we have the resources to do so, and we are enjoying every minute of it. And on Thursdays, also noon Philippine time, we react to the coolest snippets, featurettes, trailers of cool content that's coming out. So we can be hyped about them, or we can steer away from the stuff that might not be as interesting. So three cool shows. We do some special episodes here and then. Hopefully, you can join us. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so you know when our new episodes are dropping. Uh, Before we go into the actual show, if you want to join our discussion next week, we will continue doing our deep dives with the Book of Boba Fett. So next week, we'll be discussing episode 3. Uh, Also, most recently, the newest Ghostbuster film came out. So that's something that we'll be discussing next week. I'm very excited. I'm a big Paul Rudd fan. So that's super duper cool. And Eternals is finally dropping on demand on Disney Plus. So we will be discussing that MCU film. We've been a film of the entire. We've been a fan of the entire MCU since its inception. So it's going to be a good discussion of that. More different take or of lesser known MCU characters. Housekeeping done this week. We will continue on discussing Book of Boba Fett. Right now, we're going to be discussing episode 2. We also have a new animated series that's on Netflix that we want to be discussing a little bit also.
Yeah.
Super Crooks. It's from Millar World. He has a lot of stuff on Netflix. So if you like his graphic novels, a lot of his graphic novels are being adapted to the small screen via Netflix. We're also discussing the Korean series, sci-fi series, also out on Netflix, The Silent Sea. And the main topic for today is we're going to close out our discussion about the super cool show, Witcher Season 2. Intro's done. I'm going to pass it on to our coolest dad, our daddy,
see,
CHUBAX,
it
or
works.
just
Finally.
It works.
a quick summary of the Book of Boba
Yeah,
Fett
so-
Season 2.
Okay, so this week we got the Book of Boba Fett episode 2 on Disney Plus. And for a quick summary, there's basically two timelines. The present where Boba Fett and Fennec are interrogating an assassin, one of the assassins that they kept alive from the last episode, and he said he was been hired by the mayor, and yeah, so they go into him, meet him, and then he says it wasn't him, and then eventually they find out that they meet the twins as they call it. Actually, I thought it would be the twins like Luke and Leia. I know they weren't gonna show them, but when they were just referring to them as the twins, I thought like,
That'd be cool.
what twins? Okay, so it's actually a uh twins that are cousins of Jabba the Hutt,
Cousins.
and they're trying to take over, and so they do have a Mexican standoff with Boba Fennec and the
With
two
Boba Fett,
Gamorreans. I'm
yeah.
still waiting for them to name those two Gamorreans because I already want a series about them. And then we have the twins, the twin huts, and then they show the amazing Black Chrysanthemum. I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's that Black Chrysanthemum, or they call him
Okay, wait. Okay,
Black
so
K, or yeah.
they're not Wookiees. They're a different breed.
I thought they
It's
were
a Wookiee.
Wookiees.
It's a Wookiee.
It's a Wookiee, all right? Cool. I'm fucking. Oh, he's so
he's
badass.
he's been around in the comic books. I'm maybe books too. He's like a bounty hunter, and he was like one of the Wookiees that they live a life of like honor, right? He like
Yes.
went the other way. He like
Okay,
went to became a
I dig it.
gladiator, and just spoiled this honor. He's like one of the badass. I think he's primarily one in the Darth Vader comic book too, or yeah, one of those.
Awesome.
He the way, well, and we'll go back to him later, but and then so that's the present, and then when he's in the Bacta tank trying to heal, he flashbacks to when he was training and being accepted by the Tusken Raiders, and this tribe, I think, is one of the honorable ones, not like
Mhm.
the
Hmm.
Anakin's tribe, the one that Anakin met in episode 2.
They did
And
kind of like drop a hint, like, hey, they're different tribes, and
yeah,
some people just want to kill, so they're trying to make them a little bit
I
more
know.
likable in terms of the
So in this
series.
one, there's one like a train that passes by them and always shoots at them, and Boba Fett eventually helps them by stealing a couple speeders and then makes a plan take over to be able to stop that. And he starts with the and once they capture the train, they let everybody who survived to they release them alive, and like made the which was pretty cool. Like go back and then just pay your toll to these guys. That's all they
Correct.
want. They're not killers. They can kill you, but they're not evil. They
Yeah.
just want just pay a toll.
He
They
made
know
them go
that
back to the
whoever they
syndicate. So it's
yeah
the
Yeah.
syndicate that basically, yeah, the ones that deals the spices or drugs in that sense.
yeah, and then so they accept him as one of their own, and they go through fucked up ritual with like a lizard growing up
Dude.
in
A
his
lizard
brain.
in
It's like,
his
what
brain.
the fuck? Like, even he was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'll let him guide me." And then I'm like, he just goes off this rail. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, I think I
I think I
swallowed.
ate it.
Sorry.
And then the ritual brings him into like a dream state where eventually he finds a tree branch. I don't know where in Tatooine, but he finds a tree branch that they fashion into his weapon, which I'm curiously looking for in the present because he doesn't have it in his current setup. I'm really
Yeah,
curious on
but it
what's
was
gonna
in
happen
in
with the tribe.
Mandalorian, because that was his
It
weapon in
was.
the
So he
Mandalorian,
still
so
has
it's
it.
there.
And just I guess it doesn't go with with this look. And I think yeah, that's about the episode.
So we'll start with Jay. What do you think about this particular episode of Book of Boba Fett?
I liked it much better than the first one, to be honest. The stories about the Tuscan Raiders for me was it made them more endearing rather than just in the Star Wars series, Tuscan Raiders were always known to be as what they are. They scavenge and
Raid.
they steal from people, they raid. Diba? So that's basically what they're known for. But here, it gave them a character, a different perspective that this particular tribe actually had morals, they had values, they respected strength, and they even taught him. Eventually, they started to communicate. So finally, there's subtitles that we
Like,
know what they're talking
Yeah.
about. But at first, we're gonna train front, back, stop. I like how he reached out and eventually he kind of figured out how to communicate.
Yeah, I like the shorthand sign language, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah,
basic.
yeah, I do like it. It's very simple, direct, which I suppose if we were in a group with a totally with no English tribe, we'll probably have to use gestures to communicate, which is quite believable. With the standoff with the huts, I was hoping for things to happen, but I guess there's more seasons ahead. That's where we'll find the action there.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Episode
I,
2.
yeah, that's right. But I do like it 'cause there's more action here, whether it's shooting, whether it was a train scene. Uh, I like episode 2. It explained a lot more for me, or at least it's starting to make more sense to me. How about you, John?
I also liked it a lot better because it felt the episode was longer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
but
felt it's super long, but it's good because it for me the prop or the very very small weakness of the first episode is I think they had too many things in such a short time because it's the first time seeing the two timelines. I actually really like the two timelines. From me watching it, it seems like it's showing that it's kind of the same that he's trying to build that the experiences that they had with the Tuscan Raiders is kind of what he is using to build his underground empire in Tatooine or his
mm,
daimyo personality in Tatooine, like the tolls, the using the people, being slightly honorable but still doing something slightly illegal to get the resources for the people, and it's not trying to kind of swindle everyone about it. So I really really enjoy this. I it's just like watching the episode. I like the idea that it was quick in terms of how weird or confusing the who wanted Boba and Fennec to be killed. Like, why the mayor? And then the mayor go to this bar, and the bar, these new people are claiming land. So it was. I like that they're putting a little bit more layers into the challenges that Boba face in terms of becoming the daimyo of Tatooine. Um, and yeah, everything was cool. Like it showed that uh the second half where it was all the Tuscan Raider. I think that was cleaner, and unlike the first episode where it's jumps back and forth.
yeah.
I thought I was gonna like back and forth more than first half, second half, but I actually like first half and second half because it felt like it's two episodes for me in one.
Mm.
So I really enjoy that. I like the effects.
Yeah.
I love the idea of showing how Tuscan Raiders live, how they hunt, how they train, how to use the stick, and how different forms. Even like how he planned on raiding the train by doing getting some speeders first and then the train. So it's like I everything was super cool. I really really like this episode. The only thing missing for me is there's still like the back the tank is so much emphasized in the first two episodes. I still don't know what it's for.
Mm.
Right? Is it just so that all his scars would heal, or he is actually nursing something new? I think it's just for the scars because he was okay in the training in the Tuscan Raiders. Like he
Yeah, that's
didn't
why
need the
it's
back
weird.
attack then,
Because after
right?
the first episode, he after that fight, he said, "Bring me to the Bacta tank."
Bringing
So
the back
like he
attack.
was
So
nursing something though.
so maybe he got it. Well, that's the thing. I want to make sure what's its function because like it can't be a prolonged injury
I hope not. Yeah, I
because
don't.
because he was already thriving in Tuscan in the what Mos oh no not Mos Eisley in the Tuscan Raider desert, right? Because he
In the
was
sand.
training, he
Yeah,
didn't have the
yeah.
back to tank then. And then I was thinking now maybe only because he got electrocuted a bunch of times during the first episode. That's why he needed to go to the back to tank to get healed that way too. He didn't have to rush to the back to tank this time because he didn't fight. So I want
Mm-hmm.
that's filling my brain. So I want to figure that out soon because I don't want to get too confused. And I like you, I don't want it to be some lame like, oh, I'm gonna die. Yeah, it was like, or like I have a
I
sickness
know.
or
I
like
know.
a new challenge that is
He
newly
doesn't need
introduced.
it.
So mm. How about you,
The
Shabaksa? What do you
back to
think about
tanks. The back to tanks were also used in Star Wars movies, right?
Yeah, yeah. Luke used it for healing,
Yeah,
but not like
for
back in.
healing.
And Vader though, he's the one that constantly uses it. I think because
That's true.
he was
Totally
like
burned to death.
when he's out
Well,
of his
burned.
suit. Yeah, what? Yeah. I really like this episode, and it kind of shows. It kind of this one like was so good that kind of lowered the first one for me because like
mm,
I like the first one, but after this, I saw why the first one is a little slower and some more faults. But, like I liked a lot of the beats here, like the scaring with the Sarlacc pit. There wasn't anything there. Even I was like,
Yeah, the
oh,
Rand
that's cute.
part.
there's nothing there
Rancor.
about
Yeah,
it.
like it's empty.
And then yeah, I just want the only thing with the first part with Boba Fett and the mayor is like I want him to show that strength. He hasn't shown it. He's just been using the claim, and I know that he's being nice still and like showing
Mhm.
respect, but eventually he has to show why he's the daimyo or the daimyo, and I can't wait for that scene. But the appearance of the twins was really cool. It's like this big from no adversary. We have these two. We know all the huts. All the huts are always like big things in Star Wars. So their appearance, two of them even, and I like their back and forth, like the twins, and it's like icky. I don't know. It's just like
Mm.
twins, like ew. Like
Ew.
I don't know,
Mhm.
but it's cool that they have that thing going, and then the introduction of Black K, or just one of the nicknames I saw, Black K, Santi, what BK, what all of the he has a lot of nicknames, and he looked really good. Like he looked even better than Chewbacca. Like the
Oh, and
suit,
I was gonna say like it's
right?
everything that they did with that black Wookiee looked so cool.
I don't know
So cool.
if it's
Yes.
the armor or just maybe the different layers of the hair,
The
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 highlights.
formation of
Yes.
the bigger
And
eyes, like it
Yeah, I
was
think
good.
the
I
Chewie
love it.
action and
was
black
too tall, and
hair.
then this one is more like filled out, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
muscular. I'm like, I was
Mm.
texting Dan. He's like, if I see that dude in the street, I think he's real because his look, the last close up of his face, when he's like pissed, like, oh damn,
I
that
want
was
him to have his
so
own
good.
series. I think he's going to be the breakout star. Give him his own Disney Plus
I
series.
need a action sequence. And then yeah, speaking of that, back
The
to the flashback time. Man, before that, I still they need to name the Gamorreans, please. I would watch a series about those two Gamorreans. I need something about them. But they need to be like I always like as having good friends like you guys. I always like that part in a series or a movie, the party like in the RPG game. I always like them when they're fleshed out and you have cool party members because it just makes it makes it more fun, and then the stakes are higher because if you lose somebody, then it's more emotional. And then anyway, and then like
yes.
as you can see with the Tuscan Raiders, I love that. I call him the John Wick Tuscan Raider, the all black dude that's like so badass.
Yeah.
Like, but
The
he
one
just
that's training him.
rammed, yeah, the one just rammed the
Do we
train.
know what it looks behind the Tuscan Raider face?
I
Let's
don't know.
check that
I kind
first.
of googled it. It's like I don't know if it was official though, but it looked like it was just scarred and stuff. But yeah, he was badass. He had this like
I
Shang-Chi
feel
moment.
that she's a. I feel that he's a
He's a
she.
she. Could be. Yeah, could be.
Could be.
I saw the he had that John Wick moment, Shang-Chi moment in the train where he's going cart by cart underneath.
Yeah,
And
oh
just
my God, that was
destroying
cool.
everybody. Like he even stole the moment from Boba, but he was so badass. And yeah, so I'm excited to see where everything goes. I'm already heartbroken because I think these Tuscans are gonna be annihilated, like or somewhere. Like
I
Danny was
actually think
saying,
my annihilated by by Boba.
by Boba. Danny was actually
I thought, yeah.
no, he's too honorable for that. Unless they turn on him first,
Okay.
I don't think he would do it because he's all about honor and respect.
Hmm.
And
Mm.
Danny was thinking something more along the lines of Seven Samurai. Like the syndicate may probably come for them, and then he's gonna have to like try and mount the defense or something. But yeah, I can't wait for where it goes. So
There's
yeah,
a
that's it for me.
$40 Tuscan Raider mask on Etsy that I might want to buy.
Ooh,
Very good.
yeah. Show that. Drop that on Facebook.
Yeah, it's super. I just want to make sure that it fits. It's so cool. I mean, I never gave Tuscan Raiders a second thought before, but this is the cool thing about the Disney Plus series is you get to deep dive and you get to give them a little bit more layers because they were just jokes before. Now they're like, oh, they have a society. So yeah, I like that Disney Plus is
Yeah,
playing around
I
here
also
too.
didn't notice that his stick had the metal part. Like when
Yeah.
they were making it, I didn't know that there was like a sharp
Oh,
metal part in it, ear part.
And
Yeah,
even etched some stuff there. It's pretty good.
yeah.
I like the making of that spear because
He made it.
it's
They
like
make
a
it.
passage, rite of
Yeah,
passage that he had to go through.
they made him make it himself.
yeah,
Very good.
it's essentially like your analog to a lightsaber. You're making your own
Yeah,
sword. You're
yeah, yeah,
making your
yeah.
own things.
That's true.
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. I think. I mean, all right. So let's close the discussion about Boba Fett season 2 with your rating out of 10 and ranking as of it in the series. So let's start with you, RJ.
For me, I really liked it. It's a 9.5 for me. It's so far my favorite episode in the two. It's only episode 2, so let's
Mhm.
Mhm.
see. So for now, this is my favorite episode standing.
CHUBAX?
For me, yeah, I'll go with a 8.5 to 9. So really high too. Really good. I want some more action on the present part to give it a 9.5.
Yeah. Same. I'm an 8.5. If the first episode was an 8, I really enjoyed this show. It's super strong. I love the format. I love this two timeline kind of thing because
Mm-hmm.
you know 6 episodes for me is always short, but it seems like with this dual timeline kind of thing, it doubles and you can get multiple stories and you can get context about one side because of the other. So I really, really enjoy that. And like RJ, this is my favorite so far out of the two. So current ranking is like episode 2 and then episode 1. So I think they're hitting their stride now. I'm I've always been excited about Book of Boba Fett. I am becoming more comfortable of him and Fennec becoming the leads because again we love Boba, or Boba has been loved for decades because of the mystery surrounding
Mm-hmm.
him. And now we're unraveling a lot of the mystery, and it still holds. It's still fun. So it's and again, it's weird that I love shows that I'm not dying to watch as soon as it comes out. It gives me a lot more pleasure of watching. Like, hey, I saw this last night. I didn't see it when it dropped on Wednesday. I wasn't
Mm.
concerned of getting any spoilers during if I pop on Twitter. So that gives me actually a much more pleasurable viewing experience because I'm not pressed to watch it and I still enjoy. So this is super cool. And that is our discussion about Book of Boba Fett. Reminder: next week we're going to continue the discussion of the Book of Boba Fett with episode 3. So join us on that as well. Up next is a super new show, animated on Netflix, about the Millar world universe is, I did not realize was going to be as interconnected as this is.
I
So
know.
I was surprised when I popped on episode one, and then it's like, oh, these characters are familiar. And
Legacy.
then I'm like, oh shit, it is in the
It's
same
them.
universe as Jupiter Legacy.
Jupiter's legacy. Yeah.
Jupiter's Legacy, which unfortunately got canceled by Netflix. I don't know how it's that gonna
Yes.
work, but
I
I
don't know
hope it get
why.
picked up by somebody else. I did watch that entire first season because I was bored. But yeah, Trubox. We're gonna punt it back to you again. What's the first couple of plot points in terms of Super Crooks, the first few episodes?
Okay, so we've seen most of us 1 to 3. Have you seen 1 to 3?
Yep.
Okay, so we've all seen 1 to 3, and basically it's just about this guy Johnny, who lives in a kind of
Johnny
crappy,
Bolt.
crappy family situation. No dad and a mom who's kind of not a nice mom, but she's there. But
Well,
so she,
I think she is. She's just finding ways to make ends meet.
I
Yeah.
do the same thing, bro.
Yeah, so she's not that crappy. She's not an amazing mom. She's not crappy, but she's there. So this is
Yeah.
Johnny growing up, admired superheroes, and then one night finds that he has powers, which is electricity, and goes basically first episode is like the origin story of him wanting to be. He's a loser, basically being bullied, typical. He wants to be a superhero, and then with his friend they hatch a plan where they're gonna reveal himself as a hero and save the town, but it goes belly up because he falls into a pool and accidentally electrocutes everybody,
Everyone has so many people dead.
and some
So
was
many
it
people
dead or were
dead.
they hurt?
Well,
think
I mean, there
some
were
were
a
dead,
couple that were
probably.
just
Yeah,
like floating, were like with
yeah, yeah.
blood coming out of their eyes. So
And then even with explosions and trucks flying just because of him, and he resorts to a life of crime because he's like, I don't think I'm a hero, so I'll just be a supervillain. And we jump to the present, like how many years later? Anyway, 5 or something, or
I think more. I think
yeah.
more.
More.
So we come to him as an adult, and he's like a super villain named Johnny Bolt, and we catch up to him, and he's on his last day of prison, being released. I love that he's very
Friendly.
Friendly with the
Friendly?
guards and
Yeah.
everyone, actually.
is it is that term congeniality or
Mm-hmm.
yeah? So he's like
Yes.
high fiving everybody, lighting their cigarettes, and having full conversations where the guards are answering him like buddies. And then he gets out, and then within the next day he has a hot girlfriend who waited for him, and then gets interrupted because
He was only in prison for 8 months, though.
yeah. But that's still 8 months. That's still almost a
But
year.
probably, yeah, probably in and out of prison.
Yeah.
But that's still prison.
So he
With
catches
all
up
the
with
super villains.
yeah, he catches up with his buddies, and the buddies already have a plan for a 10 store heist in
In
10
10
minutes.
minutes.
And of course it goes belly up. They steal, and then after that they just go for a chase with cops and with with superheroes who are surprisingly looking more super villainy than them in the costume department and in the looks. But and then in the last episode, they're caught by, I assume, is like one of the powerful heroes, and then that's where it cuts. And yeah, so that's the quick recap for that. How'd you like it, Zong?
I fell asleep on the last episode, but the first two episodes I actually really enjoyed. I love this art style.
Did you watch
it's
it in
the
Japanese or English?
I watched it in English dub, but I did pop in Japanese a little bit because the translation. I ever since Squid Game, I've been always curious about the translation.
It's not exact, right?
Like,
I saw it also.
it's not exact, but even I mean, I always assumed that the English translation, the English dub, and the subtitles should at least align.
They're not perfectly.
They don't. So
Yeah,
that's kind of like
I
that.
saw.
That was super interesting for me. But yeah, I mean, I figured like this is not something that uh I would be picky about the voice acting, so I was okay with the English dub. The art style I love. This is kind of, more and more we're getting the 3D, the cell shading. So this is a lot more of the traditional. It's, I think it's still cell shaded. There's a lot of CGI in it as well, but I really preferred it. I like how even the first episode, it really hooked you in terms of, oh, that's why it's called Super Crooks. It's like in that universe of Jupiter's Legacy where they concentrated about the heroes, or where the heroes got their powers. We're now concentrating on the villains, where the villains, he started with good intentions. Like I expected that they're going to be like, oh, like my origin story. Everybody who's been bullied just wants to be accepted and just wants to feel cool. But you fall into a public pool with dozens of people in it and electrocute most of them and cause multiple car crash accident outside, and then killed even more people. That will fuck you
discuss
up.
that. Yeah.
And fuck up a church
Fuck up a truck
with a
of
choir present.
oh, and then what, like another truck carrying lots of pigs
Pigs.
gets
Pigs.
launched to the atmosphere and dropped into the pool too.
If I
The
was
pool.
if I was his lawyer, I'd say the pool. Okay, that's my client's fault, but
But
everything
everything else.
else, that's like fucking karma bullshit. That I
Oh,
don't think
but
he's
I
Okay, okay.
mean,
liable for that.
Listen, if you even take the pool itself, how many people were electrocuted in the pool, and how many pigs were eventually even electrocuted in the pool?
the
This is
idea to,
so massively fucked up.
and I always, I appreciate when they do kind of like the boys treatment, or you twist, like, we're oversaturated with superhero series and movies right now, that
Mm.
you really need to find a different angle on origin stories or superpowers and whatnot. So um but I always love the best friend. So I mean, the best friend, they were just trying to be cool, and then you know what, just got a little bit unlucky, and then in the end just like turned to a life of crime. But I am happy that he became cool, and he got the hot chick in the end too. So I super duper love that. And yeah, I'm uh it's not a series that I will binge, unfortunately, because we have so many hero and anti-hero series out there, that I think it's weird where this particular series dropped. Like I think
Mm.
this could have been held a little longer, but when though? There's no good time to drop this series. I just think that this is a little bit buried in the catalog of Netflix, because I saw this when it dropped, and this has been out for maybe a month. Uh I think it's been
A
out
few
for a little
weeks.
bit. Yeah, so it's been out for a little bit, and I haven't seen it like suggested to me, which is weird because I love these kinds of things. So, but overall, it's fun. I suggest it for people who,
Numbers.
if you like anime, if you like animation, this is a really cool version. If you're a big fan of the Millar world, um, that's kind of cool as well. And there's a lot of things to appreciate in this series, but it's not for kids. So it's kind of like it needs to be a little bit more teens and adults are kind of oversaturated with these kinds of series. So I feel that this is just going to be a little bit buried in the
Mm.
catalog of the choices that we have, particularly when we have Disney Plus coming out week on week shows like fucking bananas. How about you, RJ? What you think about Super Crooks?
I like the art. Story was not bad. Same as Jong, I watched it in English, but when I popped it into Japanese, I preferred it. The English seems cheesy. I don't know why, but the language and everything just seems so cheesy to me. Um, Overall, I found that the superheroes were one of the superheroes. I can't remember the name. He's so OP. overpowered, wherein he had multiple superhero skills that they can't even predict what's gonna happen next. But generally, he's like your all in one superhero. But then the rest of the other superheroes introduced in this first few episodes were just really kind of jerks. They were called superheroes, but they caused more damage and maybe even death than the Crooks ever did. So what did the Crooks do? They didn't kill anyone. They just stole jewelry. And how much did they get? eight
I was gonna
thousand
s- I
dollars
was
per
gonna say
person.
that there's like a price of it's a 10-store jewelry heist. Are you? It doesn't justify all the death and destruction that all the
Exactly, which
villains,
was caused
all
by
the
that
heroes
big
did. Yeah,
mountain, by that bouncing rubber ball,
rubber ball
who
man,
destroyed like what an
rubber boy,
entire
rubber
row of houses
houses.
in, I suppose, in San Francisco. This was in San Francisco, I suppose, right?
It was,
Or
yeah,
I
it
don't
was.
know.
I love the intro
So
though. Look at the intro; it's so funny.
yeah, I know that was
Yeah,
pretty
I
good.
mean, so um, I've been researching a lot about this, and then there are what do you call manga houses, like anime houses that kind of
Hmm.
specializes in intro. And the people that did this is, I assume, is the people that did the intro for Jujutsu Kaisen, because I love the intro Jujutsu.
Oh,
Oh, that one's also pretty good. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, but I liked it, but it's not something that that I'm thirsty to watch the succeeding episodes. I'm doing it because it's part of our homework. Maybe if I had spare time, I would, but I feel that there are other episodes or other series in Netflix that I might be more focused on, I would say.
I think we should finish it because
Oh yeah, 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 of
it's
course.
a one set, like a one shot graphic novel.
Mm.
So it's not like gonna be push on. There's gonna be like a real
Mm,
climax and a real point to the story. So yeah, we'll continue it next
mm.
week. But
Oh,
for
absolutely. I mean, I'll still finish it, but if it weren't for if it weren't for
turn
us
the
or
homework,
for
yeah,
this show, I wouldn't have really even started it. I saw
gotcha,
it, but didn't it didn't attract me to click. I mean, for example,
gotcha.
when Witcher came out, we were waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Um, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it didn't give that excitement. But now that I've started it, definitely I'll finish it. I think it's a good
It's an easy
series.
watch too. Like, yeah, it's very easy.
It's an easy
Yeah,
watch. Yeah.
yes. So for me, I wasn't too keen on the first episode because I'm just at this point in my life I'm just tired of origin stories. They're just too many. It's just you can't really, unless you give me something very unique. It's just all the same. But then by the second episode, it got its hooks on me, like how good, how nice guy he is. But he's a villain, so he's like, what I like about this is he's not like the anti-hero. He's not being a hero. He,
Mhm.
he's
He's
he
just trying to
doesn't
go back.
he's
He's
not,
getting by.
yeah, he doesn't want even to be a really bad guy. He just wants to use his powers, kind of shady way because it's a little easier than going legit, and he can't use his power. So he's just trying to get by, and he's a thief, so he's not a killer or something like that. And like that was just so funny for me. Like the cop, like, oh no, we don't need heroes here, and then he's like, call every superhero back up, like, fuck that. So it's like that's the question for me though. Like, how much is too much for the damage and the destruction, and they're just gonna blame it on the
I
villains? Like,
know.
we're not the one killing people here. I think there was a line there also like, how many people have you
Yeah.
killed? And the guy's like, it's all in the name of justice. He's keep bashing on cars, and the action is so good though. Like, I love how the villains are like, they're good guys too. Like, they're using their powers together, and they know how to. It's like they complement each other well. They know each other.
Mhm.
None of them are
I like
assholes.
that facing. I like that facing power. It's very
Yeah, yeah,
helpful.
yeah.
Saved them a lot of times.
I mean, even like the bad luck power when it started, like how why how are you going to use a bad luck? I don't want to be around that guy, but he can control it. So it's like, okay, cool.
And I also like that. Yeah, my grandma's cat died, and then within a day, my grandma died. It's probably because your mom went crazy. Your grandma went crazy and played with a dead cat and got toxic plasmosis. What are you
And
talking?
he was like,
Oh,
"Hey, wait,
yeah,
you're
oh
probably
yeah.
right."
So that was nice part. And yeah, the action was fun. The ice going around San Francisco. Just really surprised with the total destruction, the mayhem and
I
destruction.
know.
But so yeah, I'm more excited for the next few episodes. So hopefully we'll
Yeah.
get.
So technically, who's the super crook? Well,
All of them
or
are
who's the? I know, right? Even
that
the
crew.
heroes were actually crooks. Yeah. No,
Exactly.
no. What I mean is the heroes are more of crooks than the actual villains are.
Interesting. That's a good
I
take
don't
on it.
know.
And it's cool though that the first hero, the scary hawkish guy, like if you were him, would you be a villain where you can't hide and then you just find you and they'll just probably kill you, or just be with the hero so that they can airlift you to places and feed you probably? It's better than getting fucked, like, because he's too obvious. You can't hide him, man. Like, he's too big.
You mean the mountain? The
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so yeah, it's cool. I like it. Not must watch too. I probably would have skipped it too if it wasn't for this show. Even though I'm a comic book guy, but I'm thankful that we put it in the homework because it's fun. Yeah, it's worth it.
So I remember.
Yes,
So
I think so.
here's the thing that I wanted to clarify because I forgot. I don't know if you guys read or saw Jupiter's Legacy. So the first superheroes were the kids of the people that got
Well,
into that portal, that mountain
well,
in Jupiter's
they were the
Legacy.
first one that had powers. The one that went to the mountain.
Yeah, but what happened? How did everybody else get it?
From what I understand here in the episode one was their descendants
It's
and descendants and descendants.
descendants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But there's
yeah.
So
too
there's
many.
no, but we don't know the timeline. So
Jupiter had many kids. Yeah.
I was wondering if there was a thing where it kind of like just busted out of everyone, like, or was there like an illegal something, or I don't know.
We'll we'll probably know more because remember, as he was a kid, as Johnny Bolt was a kid, he was
wondering
also
about his
searching for
dad.
his dad.
who's his
So
dad is.
so he's thinking that his mom wasn't a superhero, so it could be the dad. But I don't know. That could be a twist
I
there.
think
Maybe
it
his
was
mom
like the
is one.
1920s, 1910s. If I again, I don't want to Google Jupiter's Legacy yet, but that was what I remembered from watching the first seasons. Like it was the 1900s, and then it's like get 2020. So even that long, that's only what, 5, 6 generations. I mean, that's, and as you can see, there's so many people that have so many different superpowers, and even the people that are in the Supermax facility too. It's a lot
Let's
of
say
people
six
there. So
generations. So let's say what?
Let's say
Maybe
you
let's say
date a person one
20,
day
20
of the
people
week.
in the first. They have at least 2 kids each. That's what 40, 40 times 2, like 80 by the third, and then 160. And let's say population increases, 180 plus couple hundred, maybe a
Maybe you're
thousand.
not limited to one wife,
I mean,
Yeah.
even if you do
multiple
like,
wives.
right? So I mean, if the first generation was 10 times 5, 10 well, then yeah, maybe 1,000, 10,000 people. If you do like
Mm.
exponential. Um, I was just like wondering, like, they made such a big deal out of it in the first episode, and then you realize,
Let's
like,
see.
oh, there's so many.
Maybe they'll say something about it.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Cool.
So
We'll hold off.
on scoring.
Well, let's do an initial rating. And I think I think for this particular series, advise people how and when to watch this is also going to be fruitful. We'll start with you, RJ.
Oh, as I said, I didn't expect to watch this, but after watching it, it's not a bad series. I'd give it an 8, solid 8, not even a point 0.5 for 7.5 or 8.5. Just an 8 for now. It's good. Um, watch it if you have no other series that you're currently into or trying to catch up on? And if you like animated series like these, Japanese animation series like these, I think it's a good. It's gonna build up to a good story. It takes you out of the usual superheroes are the good guys. Puts the bad guys in a different perspective. It is for the more mature watchers. So not that there's nude scenes, or maybe not yet, but
I
um,
wish there were. They should
don't
have just
don't
gone
bring
all the
your.
way.
I know, right?
They should have
Because it
just
would have
gone all
been
the way.
more
It's
in
already
context.
R, so just might
Yeah,
have just pushed
Mhm.
it. It's on Netflix anyways. TV mature.
correct, correct. But I wouldn't watch it with kids below 13. So, but for you want something that doesn't take too much real estate up here. You want something to relax on. This is perfect. How about you, Chubax first, then
Uh,
Jong?
Me, I give it a 7.5 for now. It's
Mhm.
fun. Yeah, you don't need to watch it one after the other. It's only what 10 episodes? Is it
Mhm.
10?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think
So
10. Yeah.
yeah, it's fun. It's mature. Just as Jong said, it's just an easy watch. It's not like deep layers of something to complement something else that you're watching, like Silent Sea or something. You don't. You need something deep, and then you need something light, and this is definitely fits it. Fun, light,
Mhm.
nice action, nice eye candy. Jong.
This is a solid 6.5 for me. And the only reason why it's dropping is because of the saturation of the superhero market. I think that's a drawback. And, you know, particularly there's been an increase of anti-hero or the what I call the non-traditional superhero element in
Mm-hmm.
superhero shows, like The Boys, Jupiter's Legacy. We keep on seeing the
Mhm.
bad side of superheroes, which is kind of weird that we actually have less good side of superheroes versus the
Agreed.
bad side of superheroes, and that's the and that's not the show's fault. It's solid because I love the art. This is quality anime for me. Like um there are a lot of amazing animes that I don't follow through with because the art sucks. Like
Mm-hmm.
Ikagami no Kill. Like, that's a very apparently a very good anime. I just don't like the art, right?
Couldn't.
And this one is great. So if you just enjoy well-made animation and you have some penchant for superhero stuff, yeah, this is again a good series to just have in your docket. But again, like, it's not something that you need to run to. So that's it for Super Crooks. The first three episodes will continue, a couple of more in the next couple of weeks. Again, it's, because this is not a show that we need to watch week on week. We can take a pause in discussing and then giving like the series again a fuller view once we have a little bit more time discussing it. Next up, our penultimate topic for this particular episode. I'm going to turn it over to the handsome boy RJ to give us a little bit of a plot summary about Netflix's Korean sci-fi series, The Silent Sea.
All right. So, The Silent Sea is a mystery thriller sci-fi Netflix Korean series released in December 24th, so Christmas Eve, 2021. It has a total of only 8 episodes, and it has stars like Bae Duna. So she plays Dr. Song Jan. She's the female protagonist in The Silent Sea, but you may also know her from Kingdom, which is
Oh, I've
a
not seen
zombie
Kingdom.
apocalypse Netflix series in the Korean medieval times, right? And of course, I guess more of the women are watching this because of Gong Yu. Gong
Huh?
Yu
I'm watching
plays
because of
Han.
Gong Yu.
Yes, some men as well. So Gong Yu plays Han Yun Jae. He's a military leader of the expedition
Captain.
to their Korean lunar base. He's also known for starring in many movies, especially series and movies, especially Train to Busan. But I think in this particular series, he seemed to have aged quite a bit. You start to see him moving towards middle age to a bit starts to grow some more wrinkles here and there. You also have people like Heo Sung-tae. He's popularized from the Netflix series Squid Games, and he's playing one of the government personnel, Kim Jae-seon, who basically helps the entire project to hopefully succeed. So generally, the Sun Sea, it's set in a dystopian future where the Earth is suffering from a global water and food shortage. So obviously, if there's no water, animals and things start to die. Also leads to food shortage.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a team led by Gong Yu, who was set to travel to their lunar base, a Korean lunar base named the Balhae base. Now, what they were asked to do was to go there, retrieve a sample. Now, what the sample is, they didn't even mention it in the first episode. So everyone was wondering, we need to know what we're there to collect. Is it a living thing? Is it information? Is it, and they can't give them any information. So generally, everyone's very finding it very sus. So um, they don't even know what the base was experimenting on. So that's a lot of questions there. All they know is that that base was shut down, discontinued. There was a radiation leak supposedly, and the entire crew died. And part of the people who died there was the head of the station, who was the sister or elder sister of our female protagonist, Bayduna, Dr. Song. So she's also wondering, in a way, what did her sister die of? So let's summarize the eight episodes. Basically, first episode was the introduction of the team, forming it, traveling to the moon. They don't even land successfully. Their ship malfunctions. They crash immediately, like kilometers away from actual base. So they lose everything they packed for, which I really felt sad for Dr. Song because she had so much luggage and laboratory
Equipment.
equipment prepared, and she couldn't bring everything, obviously, because the ship crashed, and not just crashed, it fell into a deep cliff, I guess, destroying everything in there. They already lost one crew member from the first episode, which happened to be the person who knew the blueprint of the entire facility. The next, eventually, they entered the base. They found a body of a Russian mercenary who seemed to have drowned to death, but they wanted to investigate more what really caused it. So there's a lot of suspicious things happening and
Mm-hmm.
things that they can't really explain. So, um, main task, you've got a soldier who wants to get the job done, go back home to his daughter. It's Gong Yu. So split up into teams. He was actually a bit of a jerk in the beginning, but
Not really. We're just
thank
more get shit
or
done.
more of just like just more of a very
This is what we
military
need.
person. I guess. Um, and then splits the team to look for samples. They don't find any except for the one team in the storage room 3. That's where Dr. Song is, and apparently one of the last minute subs, Jisoo, which was eventually found out to be a spy, or at least someone who is playing on the other side of the fence. Was killed in a very suspicious way, according to Dr. Song and the video recording, which was on her suit. There was a being, seemed human, but they're not sure. Moved extremely fast, was super strong, broke the bones, causing Jisoo to die. So they already know that there's something to watch out for. Rest of the series, part of it is trying to find out what that thing was that killed Jisoo. Another part would be wanting to know what really happened in the base, so they make more sense about what's happening, and for Dr. Song to know what was the sister really trying to do, and what she died of. Later on, they found out that the sample that they were trying to bring back was lunar water. Now, a few things about the lunar water. When ingested, it basically fills a living being with so much water. Water multiplies inside an organic being, causing their blood veins or their veins to rupture, explode, and eventually killing them. So you may have a lot of water, but it's not consume. It's not something you can really
Mm-hmm.
consume. They eventually found that that thing that killed Jisoo was a young girl. Now, this young girl eventually took a liking to Dr. Song. She was basically trying to live. She was living off the water, the samples. Hence, she wanted to collect every sample that was remaining in that station. Even after Jisoo dying, it was later revealed that there was another traitor, which was sad. But there is a backstory there. He was also playing for the RX Russian
Company,
exploration
mercenary
teams,
company. Yeah.
mercenary teams, exactly. So he was tasked to get the samples. So the reason they weren't really able to communicate back to Earth was because this guy was the one who's basically handling all their comms, all
Oh,
their
that's true. I didn't. I forgot about that. Yeah.
yeah. So he was the
Yeah,
one
he was the
tasked
one
to
fixing the comms.
check what's wrong with the yeah, exactly. And when he said that, I think I know what's wrong. There's something
Bullshit.
at the base. I think this was episode 4, right, Shui? So there's something at the bottom of the. You have to go down the shaft. The
Mm-hmm.
elevator's not working. So Gong Yu tries to go down, does his heroic jump, but then suddenly the elevator is working, and not only is it working, it basically
Ah,
almost killed
okay.
everyone there,
Ah, yeah. I was watching it late. That's clicking now. Yeah. So it's obvious how that
right? So
happened. Yeah.
it yeah. So you kind of realize that the things that weren't working, this guy was
Fucking asshole.
somewhat
Huh?
exactly, he had a hand in it. So towards the end of the close to the end of the latter episodes of the season, you'll see that he's basically that traitor, and he's trying to take the water. Although he really played, he tried to save the person who was hurt, donating blood to him, but eventually being the one to execute him, also with the gun shot to his heart, storing him in a freezer. So towards the last 3 episodes, I would say, so he's more of trying to steal the samples and get off the moon, lunar base, being picked up by the RX mercenary team. So they thought that, why is he doing this? It's just really hard to understand why. His backstory turns out to be he was part of the initial group that caused the shutdown of the lunar base ballet. They stopped everyone from leaving because they didn't want the secret that they were doing human experiments,
Cloning,
human cloning, trying to
mutation as
find
well.
ways. Yes, and mutation, trying to find ways to adapt to the lunar water. Because obviously, everyone on Earth is very desperate. Imagine being rationed water. You don't have water. People didn't even know what swimming was. So remember, there was a part there.
I'll take you
You know,
swimming. Is that
I'll
what
take
fish
you
do?
swimming. So the
All
daughter
fish are
goes,
dead.
exactly. So even the kids didn't know what swimming was anymore, because that's how empty of water or devoid of water the world was. So everyone's desperate. I understand the situation, but because they had to do human cloning, mutations, and all that, they didn't. The Korean government didn't want that out, so they hired, or they commanded the soldiers to kill everyone or lock them in there, causing everyone to eventually die and leaving. So he, full of guilt, couldn't stand with what he did, joined this mercenary and tried to kind of, I don't know, get back. You know how villains are; they tried to justify their own actions. But he said he didn't want to kill anyone, but he's the one who killed the most in this
He killed
entire.
almost everyone.
He killed even his friend. He cried about this guy though, the
Yeah.
guy who was his partner in repairing stuff. I actually wished he didn't die, but I guess everyone ultimately died except Dr. Song and the other doctor, Dr. Hong. I'm
Mm.
not even Gong Yu makes it. Um, so towards the end, there's some damage dealt to the pressure system in the base. Water kept multiplying, just kept increasing and increasing, causing pressure to change, bursting out on the seams. Thing is, if you get a drop of water on you, you get infected and you start to kind of drown internally.
Mhm.
Dr. Song was supposed to drown, or she was
Mhm.
drowning, but thanks to the bite given to her by Luna, that little kid that they were trying to track in the beginning, um, that some of Luna's DNA kind of helped her cope with that situation, helping her overcome the drowning situation. So I was thinking maybe they should have asked Luna to bite every one of them, inject some of Luna's blood.
That thought came
Then
to
they
my
wouldn't
mind.
have drowned. Towards the last few episodes, or I think the second to the last and the last, the traitor, who was also not only splashed with water, he was basically drenched
Mhm.
with that lunar water, survived so much. He
Solo.
was able to. Yeah, I know. Whereas others almost drowned
Immediately.
immediately. This guy was able to get the
Well, then
samples,
again,
walk to the
Suchan, the
end.
first one, took a while also. Like they walked a
Yes, I
while, and then
guess.
he sat down, and they were just talking. Nobody noticed that he was fucking drowning in his own fucking body.
Okay. A- And but the thing is, even the crew, you Gong Yu and the other captain, right, or the guy who reported them, they were prepared with guns. They counted the bullets. They were expecting the Russian mercenaries to come in, so they were armed. And then they're reaching towards the end, and here comes the traitor, half drowning. You know, they could have pulled out a gun and shot him, but
And
instead,
that's
which they eventually did.
yeah.
They eventually did. So the second in command comes down, shoots him 3 4 times, but also gets shot
That was
by
the
this half
only.
drowned
That was the only death that
half.
kind of pissed me off. Like he didn't need to die.
No, he didn't need to
He didn't need
die.
to die.
I know, but it really took this guy to die. He was
Yeah.
half drowning. He was beat up, half drowning, got shot, and still had enough, you know, uh, still had it in him to share his story and
This is the
all that
character you
stuff.
love to hate.
Anyway, exactly. Gong Yu, the captain, ends up sacrificing himself because something wrong with the pressure. So he depressurized the previous room. He goes there, sacrifices himself. Eventually gets blown out because of the water pressure. He's out in on the moon surface, but um, Luna finding his body, trying to return the
The
little
pen.
emblem that had his daughter's the pen that had the daughter's like artwork on it, showing that his lights were blinking until it just shuts down. I'll assume, or at least it makes me assume that he died.
I hope not, because
Um,
he
I hope
he
not
wasn't
though.
infected, and probably maybe a couple injuries, but if it's oxygen that wasn't, the ship arrived immediately. So there's a
That's
shot.
true.
There's a shot.
Sure.
And you had Dr. Song and Dr. Hong there. They were watching distance. I mean, if you saw someone that you're with
Yeah.
there, you'd probably like start running. If I,
Mhm.
if for
Yeah.
example the three of us, one of us gets blown to like 10 meters away, we're gonna run after that person, right? I don't know, but the I liked it, but the last episode was questionable. But before I give my thoughts on it, how about you, Jong? How did you like the silent scene?
The silent sea.
The thing is, it started strong. I love post-apocalyptic sci-fi stuff or dystopian future kind of stuff. So when they started introducing the water shortage, how society has evolved into the classes are the amount, like how the higher you are in the society is the amount of water that you can get,
Yeah,
like black class
we're
or platinum class or whatnot. So I really enjoyed that. Um I really enjoyed the story up until I realized what was happening in the lunar base. I think it's just one of those. It did not the quality of storytelling did not consistently pace itself properly.
Mm.
Like the first, it was good introduction of the team, the thoughts, the idea of like there's going to be mercenaries. Of course, somebody's going to be a traitor. What is in? Because again, up until like what episode 3 or 4, we did not know what's going to be in that space station. What died, and I love the idea of like trying to sneak away from your pairing so that you can investigate what has been happening. But once we kind of fell into, oh, there's this quote unquote monster slash kid that has survived, and oh, the normal tropes of sci-fi, kind of like, oh, this is the experiment, this is the kid that needs to be killed, this is, or be brought back. I was like, oh, it kind of felt very, very paint by numbers for me. Even towards the end, it didn't help also like the likable people they start killing off in the middle of the season, um, or becoming traitors. So that's something. But I did, I'm continuously impressed in the quality of production of Korean shows. Like, like this is stellar. Like in the way that they did the out of space stuff, the ship stuff, the lunar base. I enjoyed all of the design. Uh the thing that kind of bugged me the most though is we are at a stage in sci-fi or in any science-based TV series that that you always need to be secure. Like right now, we're just dealing with COVID and you need to wear masks. In this series, fucking you see a gajillion dead people and you're walking around without your fucking mask. Like
I agree.
get your hands, get like just small
Hazmat.
touches. Yeah, just like, and you already have it, just like put it on. So that's I know it's for the acting. You want to see people's faces, but those are the things that kind of takes me out of the experience of the show. And another small nitpick is like their fucking earbuds are distracting to me. They're like there's a giant earring thing that they're their comms device. Because I love the either like the Hawkeye or the Avengers. It just is essentially like an earbud that has a security thing. It's like, oh, it looks like a comms device. This one looks like, bro, come on.
I don't think it's
We
big.
have
I think it's just it's popping out and it's white.
And I think
So
they want to make sure that it has, I was imagining this when I was watching. I was like, oh, they didn't want to do the traditional small earbuds like this because they want to make you understand that,
Emphasize.
emphasize that this is the comms device, probably some medical shit, probably some tracker shit. So it has a lot of function, and this is what it'll look. But I won't be like that will fall out if I'm
yeah,
running around and doing shit. So those the small touches kind of like took me away. I the first couple of episodes when suspense was high, when you didn't know a lot of what was happening, I was really, really high into the series. But as soon as like, oh, lunar water, kid monster, it's like, it started falling apart for me. So it kind of like dwindled from mid season all the way down to, and like I know we talked earlier about the thoughts about the ending. Like I too was kind of like, all right, I'm pretty sure they're going to do some form of a second season here, and I don't know where they're going to take it, and I'm not stoked for it. So how about you, Chabak? What do you think about the series?
I liked it. I still have to digest it, but I'm like you. I like how the start the build up was good. I like the idea of the lunar water and the girl, but I don't know if it was executed
Mhm.
perfectly. Yeah, I mean it's kind of different. Like we've never seen anything like lunar water, so it's like it's cool concept. Like they have this water that it water is what they need, and they have this multiplying water, but it's deadly. and then you combine that with the girl, then they could make something out of it. And then I like that. At first, I was like, my immediate concept was like, shit, you don't bring that back to Earth. That's gonna kill everybody. But then if you think about
Exactly.
it, no, but if you think about it, they're already all dying. Might as well,
Yes.
if this
That's
would
how you can
kill,
find a cure faster.
if this kills them faster, it's just the same. I mean, but this could give
Mm.
them something to do. So I like that. I don't know also if how they're gonna uh continue in second season, but like I like you love to hate that the character the traitor, but I do like that they kind of went all in. Like in the end, he didn't like it's realistic where he was so guilty that he was disillusioned with everything, and he was like, "Fuck this!" So he's gonna um go since he was like, I became a bad guy because of that thing. So now I'm just a bad guy. So fuck it, right? All the way into the end, he wasn't like at the
Mm.
last minute where I'm sorry and then just kills himself or something. He's like, oh, fuck this, I'm a bad guy. So fuck it, all of you. That's a very human touch, and I like that. And there was so many touches that I like the elevator thing with Gong Yu with the let go
Mm.
and I do that's why I hate the last death, the second to the last death with the second in command, because I like that character. I like those characters where whatever you want, Captain. Like let go, give me the rope. So he just threw it immediately, which saved the captain. So that was good. And then him, I don't know why he died like that. I mean, he already shot him. Why would you have to go give yourself a clear shot? He went closer and then that's when he got shot. I would have
Mhm.
just kept shooting him
Yes.
even if he felt he was
From
a little covered.
afar. I know.
Yeah, and he was already dying. So why did he come closer? So that kind of pissed me off. And there is hope that I think he's alive. So the captain, I mean, uh, I do love some of the action sequence with the girl. She's like really fast and really powerful. And that scene and the ending was good too. The where she was walking in the moon. I like that. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's happening. Like, I guess she doesn't
Luna
need to
can breathe. No,
breathe. Breathe
she
what?
doesn't need oxygen.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
no
there's
oxygen
no
at
Well, he
all.
can he
atmosphere.
can she I mean that's part of her mutation is like she can breathe in outer space, or possibly the lunar water in her can make
Yeah,
her survive
Sustain her.
sustain
without a
her.
Okay.
suit. Also, like, she wasn't freezing to death because it's super cold there too, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, I really liked it, but yeah, it didn't quite come together as strong as the first half. And
Mm.
I'm worried about. I'm not worried, but I'm like I don't know how they're gonna continue the second season. My problem is if they go big, it's gonna be like Peninsula Train to Busan 2.
Oh,
It
that was
lost
bad.
all intimacy.
Oh yeah.
So I hope if they do season 2, they keep it small again, like whether in the ISSB or another facility, just keep it small, keep it contained. And I do want to know I do want to find out what happens to Luna and Jian next. But I just hope they don't make it big is better again. Keep it tight, keep it contained. That's what the silence is supposed to be. And I was like, in the end,
That's right.
my stupid mind, like, oh, it'd be cool if I assume the water was multiplying because it was in contact with the plants, right? And since the plants weren't dying because of the water, it kept multiplying. Because
Hmm.
It kept multiplying.
in a person, they would die eventually because they would drown. But it's a plant, so I assume that
That's
those
right.
kind of plants. I think it kept multiplying. So I said, wouldn't it be cool if the Earth looks at the moon and there's like oceans of water, but then
Mhm.
it would freeze. That is true. It would freeze. But so that was a nice shot. The with the ice all popping out from the
That's right. From the
yeah
vents.
yeah. So yeah, so just I'm like Jong. Some of the it didn't quite come finish as strong. Though even though I liked the elements, the sci-fi elements of it, it just didn't. I
Mm.
don't know, execute well. Some nitpicks here and there. Like for me, my biggest pet peeve was the was the walking on the moon. It just looked like
Mm.
they were doing this. It was so fake for me. Which I don't even know if did it look like that. Wouldn't it be more bouncy?
I
Yeah,
thought
I
it would be
think so
more
too.
They
bouncier.
weren't
Well,
bouncing at
it's
all.
hard to fake
I know, I know,
fake half gravity, so
I
they're
know.
trying their best.
Yeah.
So it still looked good. It just looked way off for me. But yeah, I like everything else. I like. I mean, the manner of death is so fucked
Mm.
up. I loved it. The lunar water. I just want to know maybe more, like where did it come from? What the origin. But
Yeah.
they did
Was
say
there
it's
really water in the moon or something?
extraterrestrial.
I don't know.
So, but yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Well, all right. So for me, just aside from the summary, two things. One, I thought there would be zombies or aliens.
I you're so
Given the given
technically there is an
the
alien. Well,
well, it's a human
Well, the
mutated
water is
human
the
extraterrestrial.
water,
mermaids. That's true.
maybe.
That's true. But yeah, but when I say zombies or alien, because first when you it's first two episodes, you see all those dead bodies. I'm thinking, oh shit, these guys are gonna reanimate and come back and kill them. Why? Because you've got Kingdom, you've got Train to Busan, you've got stars from
Squid Game.
from movies. Well, Squid Game is not zombie, but I was thinking maybe it's gonna be another zombie-ish. I
But
don't know what it is,
yeah,
but
for me,
seems like a virus.
it was like double sided. Like it'd be like zombies again. Give me something different, but they give me something different, and when it wasn't as exciting, so I'm like
Mhm.
torn.
Go,
Like,
give me back to
Yeah.
the zombie.
I mean, if it was a
Well, it could have been
zombie,
aliens. I don't know, or
if
alien zombie.
if it
I
was a
don't know.
zombie, I bet one or more of us would have been saying now that's like another zombie series. You know what I mean? We've
That's
seen this so
true.
much, so they at least they had the heart and the courage to give us something new. It just didn't quite
That's true.
land as good, but it's still good. I mean, I had fun watching.
Maybe because the preview of the series was not giving you enough information, so you
Hmm.
don't really know what you're walking into. So I was really just finding out more about what I'm watching as I watch
As,
it. But it's a good series. Felt that
and
the last episode was stretched. There were a lot of scenes that took a lot of time that were
true.
unnecessary. Too
Mhm.
much walking, too much unnecessary extra shots, and it felt that way because maybe because the story's done, but it's gonna be too long if you make it 7.5 episodes. So might as well make these extra
Hmm.
um longer scenes that if they're doing it in a Korean series, they're just trying to um fit within the time frame of an episode. Those are probably my two main nitpicks there, but I liked it.
Yeah.
I think overall the Silent Sea was something that I look forward to watching and completing.
Oh, before we move on forward, like another nitpick I forgot to mention. There's so many guns. Isn't it like I
Yeah,
mean every single outer space movie that we had is like it's so difficult to bring stuff out to space and bring it there that like there's only like one plastic gun with one bullet always or something like that, or just like one guy with one gun and that's always like the dude that will be
hmm,
where the gun is stolen. Like here's like oh shit, everybody's shooting everybody. Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you think about it, they can go to space. They should have guns.
Yeah. I was like, huh. I didn't realize that it was that easy to bring those stuff now. Okay, cool. Uh, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
all
So
right.
Well,
with that,
I guess if you have a nitpick, it's because none of them were worried to depressurize the station with the guns. That's the
so
worry.
that's
Yeah,
the other thing
None
that
of
I
them
thought that
even raised it.
and the my so that's see yeah, that's your concern and my rebuttal to that was like oh it's because like those stations are no longer flimsy, it's no longer like saying that these are actually
Okay. And
big
it
for
looked
it's
like
like
different.
buildings now.
It did look like weird bullets, so it wasn't.
Mm.
It was fucked up though that the clone wasn't it like the daughter of the director that they cloned and cloned and cloned or something,
I think so, yeah.
right? It's fucked up.
mm,
Uh, All right. With that, let's close the silency with our ratings and suggestions on when and how to watch it. I'll start with YouTube box and we'll end up with Jay.
I would score it 7, I guess. I had like parts were a 9, and then some parts were a 6. So I go
Mm.
around 7. Um, I mean, if you're in a sci-fi kick, you should give it a try. I mean, it's good quality. Might not have nailed the landing, but still a good journey, good acting, good. Nobody. Korean Korean series are like next to Hollywood when it comes
Mm.
to
That's
sets
true.
and
I'm glad.
effects. So yeah, that's it for me. Give it a shot.
Uh, I am a I'm at a shit. So I gave Super Crooks a solid 6.5, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a strong
Mm.
6.5. This is going to be a soft 6.5. This is one of those like because because I'd rather a series start poor and end strong than the opposite way around.
That's
Right.
true.
So that's kind of like the idea. Like because it did like you, it started strong. I thought like when it was a lot of mystery, a lot of the politics. And that's the thing too, because they built the world very cleanly and efficiently. Like I was supposed to say when we were gonna review this earlier that the thing that I hate about Korean shows or Korean dramas
Start
or
slow.
series is the exposition takes too long, too slow. This was good. Like I there's
Mm.
water shortage. This is happening. You can see like even the small touches. Like that's what kind of made me turned me off a little bit of it because like they were very inconsistent in the details. Like in the start, like you can't have pets. Like if you had pets, you had to kill them because you don't want to waste
They'll drink water.
food,
Yeah.
food or water with a pet. Or if you have a pet, it's such a luxury. Or it needs to be a science experiment because of how. So you really get all of this, like supporting details on how dire this world is and how people have adjusted, right? You've adjusted towards this life that we're all now working for the status of getting how much water and with our cards, etc., etc. So I enjoy that. And then once you get to the space part and then not wearing masks, shooting all the time, being stupid and just like separating, like I thought we've evolved past those normal horror genre tropes that, oh, let's split up and find this person's like so that's why it kind of like slowly teetered down. So it'll end at 6.5. How about you, Jay?
Well, I'd go for still an 8. If I gave Super Cooks an 8, I'll keep it at 8. It would have been 8.5 had they ended on a stronger note, just as what you said. I enjoyed it because it's something that I actually was watching until I fell asleep. You know what I mean? So it's not something that I'll just watch 2 episodes and I'm okay. I'll just keep watching until I'm so sleepy that I fell asleep midway through an episode. So I'll keep it at an 8 only because the ending was something that I didn't enjoy. I would have scored it higher. I watched it with my wife, so watch it with whoever is with
Mm.
you who also enjoys Korean series. It's the acting is good. It's just really the last 2 episodes that ruined it for me.
You know what? Because of that, I'll make it a 7.5. You're right. Because when I was watching it, it made me want to watch the next episode
Yeah.
immediately. So
Hmm.
I'll
That's why
bump it up for
CHUBAX
that.
slept at 2:30.
All right, I know. So yeah, that's it for that.
Awesome. So that's Silent Sea. Again, this is what I love about our reviews podcast is because we have different points of view. We watch it with different people. We watch it at different times and different paces. Hopefully, one of our point of views kind of aligns on how you watch your shows and your series and your movies and helps you and helps educate you in when and how to watch these particular things. But without further ado, our main topic for the week is something that all of us unanimously love. So this is just you have to watch this show. You have to
You
watch this
have to watch.
series. But at this point, we have 2 seasons. First, both season has 8 episodes each. Each episode is what 42 minutes and above and plus. So this is now in that borderline of commitment. Like, so you want to make sure that you arm yourself with the correct information when you'd watch this and how you'd watch this, because you wouldn't want to be like me, who watched it as soon as it came out and slept at 5 a.m. because I just couldn't stop watching it. You want to pace yourself. You want to enjoy. So our main topic of today is The Witcher. So I'm gonna try to put the plot in as concise as possible, and I've rearranged the plot in terms of the storylines of the series, which is something that is a lot more of an improvement from season one. It's a little bit easier to track. The stories are a little bit more straightforward. It's different stories altogether, but the idea is like it kind of, it's by tracks. It's no longer like a windy path on what the story is. But we did discuss the first 3 episodes last week, but just to recap everything, the plot for season 2 is, it begins after the Battle of Sodden. That's the end of season 1. And then we see that Geralt found Ciri at the end of season 1. Ciri escaping the Battle of Sodden, running in through the forest and yada yada. Yennefer, so like our major characters here is Geralt and Ciri. Yennefer plus what's
Kahir.
what
Kahir or Kahir, the general commander.
What Kahir, and then I'm gonna add what's the name of the elder. That's the elf,
Francesca.
So they're a little bit of a group too, and then we have a group in Camoran. So one of the major through lines of the season 2 is the reason why Yennefer's and the kind of the North, right? I'm sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong. Like, won that particular battle is because Yennefer used the spell of fire that kind of exhausted all of her magics. So that's kind of like a through line of the story as well. Once that happens, Geralt figured that it'll be best to spend winter in Kaer Morhen to keep Ciri safe, right? So that's one major through line is Ciri's time at Kaer Morhen, where she does no longer want to be the helpless princess heir to the throne kind of trope. So she wants to train herself to become quote unquote a witcher, or just to be able to protect herself and the people around her because they keep on fucking dying. So that's a major through line from like episode 2 to around episode 5-6 is along with the other witchers, Vesemir, which like the main trainer of all witchers, dad figure to Geralt and all the witchers, now the new dad figure to Ciri, is not only protecting but training Ciri in all sorts of things, so she can protect herself just in case Geralt will never to be able to do so. Layered into Yennefer losing her power of chaos and Fringilla being captured with her. They were captured by elves after the Battle of Sodden. The elves are trying to excavate this gateway, this portal, this totem, this magics to give them power back so that they can get their lands from the humans, because in this world, the humans, when the convergence happened, took over, or by kind of like disenfranchised slash what is shit, there's this term about gentrified their world and took over the elves land, and then now they are being hunted and persecuted, yada yada yada. This is where the three major like females in that particular sect of the story, Yennefer trying to find chaos magic back, Fringilla trying to win the war, and the Francesca trying to lead the elves into victory again, stumbled upon the witch. Wow, fuck, it's the what's the
Undying,
it's the
Deathless Mother.
deathless,
The
the
Deathless
deathless
Mother.
deathless.
mother.
Yeah,
So the deathless mother, um, was essentially able to kind of tempt these three people to give each of them what they want, but they need to kind of like sacrifice something as well. So pause there, go back to Siri and the people at Kaer Morhen. Lots of adventures there. They're assassins trying to get Siri. Tisea visited there to, essentially visit the Witcher and Geralt, but also to check up on Siri a little bit. But we kind of figure out that um, now we're starting to figure out what's so important with Siri. Her blood is of the is
Elder.
she has elder blood. So
elder
elder
blood.
blood not only has some powers, magical powers to open, close portal, do other magics, but the blood itself was a main ingredient, or thought to be a main ingredient, in providing that special mix of poison to transform a human to a witcher, right? So
Witcher.
that's the other plot line there. Is like, will Siri provide that help? Will so Vesemir found it out, and will to say a help to do this? And then this was actually, I'm gonna pause here because this is actually my favorite.
Oh, not Tisea, Tris.
Tris, sorry,
Tris.
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 Um, this is actually my favorite plot in where I saw that the people that wrote The Witcher, the game, and is making the show really knows what they're doing, because they're balancing traditional plot lines and traditional steps to like something that is unexpected. Because one, I always thought like, oh, will Vesemir just steal the blood and like take advantage of Siri? But no, it was very honorable. Like, it's like, ask Siri about it. They explained what this is about. They explained the risk. So, oh, that's great. And I thought it stopped there. And then they moved even further when Siri said, like, I will only give you my blood. I will only help you develop this serum for the super soldier serum again moving forward to create Captain America, if I'm the first one to do it. So that's like super dope. I really enjoyed that plot line too. So that happens as well. And then going back, after the Deathless Mother, so we're going back and forth the story. Fringilla and Francesca develop because of the visions that they've seen, the visions that the Deathless Mother has implanted to these people, that were able to find this portal that the elves have been looking for in a while because of their dreams. Um, the Fringilla and the North has an alliance with the elf to be able to overthrow all the people that are trying to fight the North. And then Yennefer goes her separate way to find her abilities back by getting Siri away, or giving Siri back to the Deathless Mother, yada yada yada. So that's where kind of like the story culminates. We find that um, Siri has elder blood and is going to be responsible for either opening portals to other worlds and monsters coming in. So a group of people wants to use Siri to open those portals and get those monsters in here, destroy this particular world. And a group of other people wants to use that power to protect this world, to keep those portals closed, to keep those monsters at bay. Geralt just wants to protect Siri and wants but none of that for her life. Yennefer is off the sect that she wavers back and forth in terms of either helping train Siri to harness his power to protect herself, or negatively, or in a bad way, to train Siri to really do open that portal to get the convergence happen again moving forward. So that is kind of where the story ends. Lots of action, lots of projects, so many action pieces that I really love, so many monster of the week inserts that I skip because I would love people to watch the series by themselves and enjoy. I didn't even kind of touch upon the fact that we got the Bard back. We got Yesker back.
Yes, care.
Yesker
Yes,
back.
here.
Through Yennefer trying to find her way back to Aretuza. So
No, no, to
that's
Synthria. She was running back.
Cynthia.
okay. So
Just running.
but they kind of got together and they had a little adventure of themselves. They helped save each other from different people who tried to capture them. So that was so much fun too. Um, but in the end, like towards like the last few episodes, when Geralt kind of found out why these monsters are trying to find Siri, and then he they kind of cooperate to use Siri as half bait and half partner to kill all of these like mystical monsters that are coming from ancient doorways and whatnot. It's just so cool. So I'm gonna stop there and just like punt it back to the crew. Talk about what you guys liked about the series, didn't like about series, and favorite storylines. Let's start with you, Jay.
I think that this was an enjoyable season. Even my wife was addicted to it, so um, she basically binged watched this as well together with me. But we paced it long enough that at least we finished this all in 3 days. Because if not, we wouldn't be working properly. Um, but favorite storylines. I like when Siri was training. I like how I like towards the end where she was spoiler alert, where she was possessed by the witch, and how Geralt showed his being a very good dad, protecting his daughter to the very last effort. I really appreciated that. I like um, how faithful they are to the game, where Geralt also uses the same moves that you would be able to in the game. Inspired me to play it another time. So I'm redoing my new Game Plus on my Switch for the Wild Hunt. How about you, Chubax?
Oh, I love the season. It's just so much tighter than the first. Though
Mm.
I do miss like the monster of the week episode because sometimes there's a complete story in those episodes that I
Mm.
cherish, and there's
Origin of the monster. Yeah.
or not just that. Yeah, there's always like a lesson or a moral from what happened in that like the short stories. But we did get that from the first episode, so that was really amazing. Anything with Geralt and Ciri was A plus. Anything with Yasker was A plus.
Ah,
All right.
Yeah.
he was he always that buffed?
Buff? No, he
No,
got
probably
buffer.
not.
He got
Yeah.
buffed here, right? Because like I remember him seeing in the first season where he was fit, but this one he was like when he was like cleaning his shirt after like a particular adventure with Yennefer. I was like, fuck, them pecs.
I know.
Shit.
So, I love Triss, but when she betrayed them, they kind of like, ugh, like she's professing
Threw her out the window.
how much you like Geralt, and then suddenly you just turn your back and oh my god. I love all the Witchers. I wish they didn't die quite so fast though. In the end, like so
Mm.
many.
So
The
when we started the season, they were like they
20
said that there used to be 90, then now there's 20 left, and at the end it's like less than 10, right?
probably,
Yes.
yeah. So I wish they didn't kill them off that fast. But everything from the training was amazing. The discussions with the vial. I agree with you, John. That was really good. But I don't know. It felt weird that Vesemir would just experiment on her without Geralt's consent. But that's just me. But I
Well,
guess
Mm.
that's
he
true.
was desperate. So I mean, I can let it slide.
And it
Um,
was like that's what I again that what was what I love when they started discussing the series blood is, I thought that when Siri said, "Yeah, make me the first Witcher to make sure that it fixed," one, I thought that was stupid because again, like if you die, we can't do any more of these,
I know.
right?
What if you
Right?
you mutate the blood?
Yeah. So that's true, right? So that's exactly, it's like how can you make more when this blood is already like
Tainted.
transformed,
Oh yeah.
right? Um, but I figure like maybe it's not necessarily it's part of the blood, not the entire blood. But
Mm.
I thought that when Siri said that like, make me the first, I thought that he was just gonna say yes immediately. He struggled for a while,
Yeah. So that yeah that
right?
makes it better. And I just Yen was the one that was like flipping up and down for me.
Mm,
I just didn't like that. It's the first few episodes was a little mirror of her first season with her trying to strive for power again, and then it started getting good when she was with Keher, the general commander. So
mhm.
she started to shine there. She was you could see that she also has a good heart there. So that
I
was
still don't
better.
know why I mean, why would she have saved him? Why did she risk everything
Because
to
there was no point. Like Aretusa they were blaming her. She was in a lose-lose situation. They were Stregobor was already turning them against her. So why would she like
Correct.
debase herself by killing somebody when
I would
and
have just killed her.
I
Like
like
it's
it
fine.
because I like how what they're doing with those kingdoms because it mirrors the game where Geralt wasn't there was no good kingdom, no bad kingdom in the game, right? He was working for
Mm.
whoever needed him, and they were all stupid for fighting a war, and none of them were good or bad. They were just all doing sort of selfish things. So this one, you could see that for Yen, yeah, either side isn't good or really bad. So why would I do this? So she ran out. She just wanted her own power. Uh
Just to share, no, even in the game, depending on which part of the map you are, you have different currency. So you had florins, you had crowns, Redanian crowns. So it it's kind of also mentioned here. I think it's like when they caught someone one of the episodes, and then they saw, oh, you're using the empire's gold or something.
mhm.
So I think it's the was it the dwarves? I can't remember.
No, it
But
was the one
anyway,
Istred came through the research people.
yes, yes, that's right. The research people. So yes, that's right. The research people, the one with the library, the
Yeah.
one who were knowledgeable about it. Yeah. So
Even that I
just
like
like
because
that.
it was just like they just want knowledge and they were just researching together. That was funny stuff.
Yeah.
And then
And they know a lot. And the
yeah.
banter between the two.
And some
Good.
of the lines are just so sweet like when they went to this Neneke's place and then the bad guys come for Siri and then Geralt's like firefucker firefucker
Firefucker.
Yeah. Hey,
firefucker
firefucker.
and Geralt's use of the push and then he put the sword back when it fell. No, when he was lying down and then somebody was on top of him.
Yeah.
He pushed him up and then when he moved in and he put the sword back. So when he fell back down, it was on the sword. So good. And
That
then
fight scene was awesome.
I know, and he
That
didn't even
fight
have
scene.
the sword. Yeah, Sheer was awesome. I even loved the short time the dwarves were there because
Oh, those okay. So every episode has a cool bit of it. Like every episode has a cool action thing, a cool new small group of people that they kind of you get to know. Because like
yeah.
that's I think that's the beauty of how this series is being built. 8 episodes is perfect. I
Yeah,
always
and
find
go.
no, I always find like Disney Plus has a 6 episode thing that might some in some series a little too long, in most series a little too short. Like you kind of like punch everything towards the end. This 8 episode bit for Netflix, particularly for Witcher, wonderfully paced.
I
Yes.
agree.
Mm.
And it's just I just find Dian sometimes so annoying, like betraying Siri, but I guess it's in character. But it's balanced perfectly with I would have been so much more pissed if they went with the typical gray where girls sometimes good, sometimes bad decision making on being a father. No, they didn't go that route. He's fucking awesome in this. He
He's a
can do.
great.
He's
He's a
an
great
He's a
dad.
awesome
great
dad.
dad, even though it's his
Great dad.
first time. Every decision he does, when he said it's for Siri, it is for Siri. It's amazing. I loved how he was a father to her, and they didn't make that gray side where I'm correct, you're correct, or just I'm correct. You fucked up. She's mine. You fucking you're gonna betray her. But I did like how they twisted it where she was the only one
When
that
they went
what
the last episode, when Yen and Geralt came back to Kaer Morhen, and how angry he was at her
I know.
for the betrayal. I love that scene
It
because it
was
was like,
it was
you
justified.
in your face.
But also, I again another weird way of like because we've watched so many stuff. I was anticipating that. Well, in my head, it's like you still need Yennefer to teach Siri her magics because we need Siri to know about her powers. But I was almost again, I have no idea about the books, no idea about the game. I was almost certain that's like, no, fuck you. It's just going to be me and Siri. But no, in the end, it's like, no,
I
I'm
it
never gonna trust you. We're gonna teach her stuff. It's
it
like
tied
that's so
no
fucking
it
dope.
tied up so perfectly because he realizes again another girl that he's not thinking emotionally. He's thinking correctly that you're the only one that can teach her. So I need
Exactly,
you.
exactly.
But then
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
the other side of it is Yen finally finding something a purpose more than her magic, her just her power watching out for herself. She's finding a purpose and it's in line with Geralt in teaching Siri. Because in the books, I read the synopsis. In the books, they are the parents of they are basically adopted her, the two of them. So it does say that she is the mother of Siri or adopted.
I just like for me, I know it's you can assume that that could happen, but I never thought it's like I'm so used to like people series extending certain things that we know that they need Yennefer to teach her, but I was almost anticipating that it's going to be no, we're
Another
gonna part
set
ways,
straight
but
up.
we'll come back in next season. It's like, oh, it's like no, like I don't trust you. Whatever that we had before, that's gone now. But you're the only person that can teach Siri,
Because Triss
so
was
we're gonna keep you
bullshit.
around. So it's like, fuck, that's dope. I love it. I love this show.
Triss was here for a week and didn't teach her shit. And you were with
I
her for five
know.
minutes and you made her portal. I hope they put her power in the game, Jay, where she can teleport, quick
Yeah.
jumps.
Face.
I
Yeah.
hope
I
they do
like
that.
that.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, this
Uh,
such a good series. I love it. I
well,
love
let's
Freya Allen so pretty.
yeah, let's round up again with our rankings, favorite storylines, and last few notes about The Witcher. Again, we're gonna talk about The Witcher a lot more. We're gonna anticipate the next season. We're going to bitch and moan how long it's going to take. All the rumors that might come out, we'll discuss. But let's start with our rankings and any advice about making sure that the people who have not watched the first two seasons yet advice on how best that they could watch it so that they can maximize the enjoyment. Start with you, Jay.
Well, for those that haven't seen season one, don't go to season two yet. It really adds on to it. You have to understand
Good point.
the
Good point.
foundation that was laid down in season one. Why relationships are a bit rough between Yaskir and Yennefer. What
Geralt
happened there? Why is
and
Geralt
Geralt.
so in love with Yen? So all these things you'll find out in season one before you jump to season two. So of course you're probably gonna be hyped because wow, these guys, these three handsome guys are saying Witcher season two is awesome. I'm gonna watch it now. Watch season one first. It's gonna be for your benefit as well. My favorite I don't know, it's hard to give you guys a favorite because each episode had something going for it. I still love episode two a lot because I felt that the story with the boar monster really
Oh,
touched. It was
that's
I felt the pain that he was, he's a sinner and he just looked for companionship. Yes, there's this girl who's giving him companionship at the same time drinking his blood, but who cares? He can't die anyway. So he's turning a blind eye to everything else as long as he's happy.
That was
Isn't
an
that
early
what
filler episode too, because that felt the most filler episode of everything, and it happened in the second episode. That's so cool. That's so cool.
I know, but it
No, wasn't that
it
the first
still
episode?
showed you
I
second.
think
I
that,
second.
that was the
Well,
first.
first
I
and
think that was
second,
the
first and
first.
second.
Oh, okay, first and second.
Because it
I think that was the
first like
first
that.
because
First.
before they arrived to Kaer Morhen. Wait, let me check.
I think well, if I remember it's second, but again, it's a very early um it's a very early semi-filler episode this season, right? That's what I felt.
It's the
Oh,
first.
it's the first.
It's the first.
It's the first.
Uh,
First. Sorry.
Second
sorry.
they arrived
So it's
in
the
Kaer
first.
Morhen.
Care more in already. So the entire season was paced out well. I didn't feel that endings were rushed or there were unnecessary episodes. Everything is crucial. You have to watch every episode and you'll appreciate it. Not because our friend Henry Cavill is handsome. Yes, that's already a given,
mhm.
but it's and series gorgeous. She grew up to be um a gorgeous lady. You whatever it is that you're into, especially if you're into fantasy, if you're into video games, watch The Witcher. If you're not, watch The Witcher, and you'll
Yeah.
probably be into
He
it.
probably will be. Oh, your rating for season 2 of The Witcher.
I'm giving it 9.5. Very high. Why? What is missing? Honestly, I'm just more consistency in how the witches look in the game and into the series. Maybe the budget went to Henry Cavill. I don't know, but Yennefer and Triss in the video game were hot. I'm not saying they're not hot today, but the series girl, but it could have been better. Could have been better. I don't know, but acting wise, costume, everything was great. I love this series. Can't wait for the next one. Jong's right. I'm gonna whine, bitch, and moan until the next season.
CHUBAX, your ranking and favorite storylines and advice for people.
So yeah, like Jay said, gotta watch season 1. But I'm gonna spoil you because a lot of people got turned off by this in season 1. So I'm gonna tell you now. There's a different timelines. Okay, so you're
Mhm.
not confused. There's gonna be different timelines. You think what you're watching is linear? It's not. So don't be
It's not.
surprised.
Yeah.
Don't. If you're confused, it just might mean you're in a. It's not. They're not being direct. They're trying to be sly about it, but it kind of messed other people up. So there's
Mhm.
different timelines. But aside from that, watch it. It's amazing. It's only 8 episodes per season. There's only 2, so you don't even need to binge it too much. Just space it out. But it's amazing. Everything. The characters are amazing. I'd put it at a 9. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's just that hopefully it's looking great for the future where Yen and Geralt are finally aligned. And Yen won't be in some annoying storylines. But I'm excited for where it's going already, and like the journey already for the second one was as good. Was already good, so it's looking good future. Good future. Cannot wait. Favorite
I'm
favorite
oh,
storyline. Anything with Geralt and Ciri, and basically anything with Geralt being the father. It's amazing.
so basically all 8 episodes. uh, I'm a solid 9.5. This is one of the most favorite things. Like looking back in fantasy experience, I think they've taken the best stuff from Game of Thrones and then made their own thing about it. Like there's still factions, there's still different kingdoms, there's monsters and magic. It's still very, very individual and there's a lot of romance. So it's like everything that you've wanted to have in a very easy to digest but yet still complex series is here. You don't have to write down notes to remember all of these things. They've really laid it out very easily, peppered in with amazing action. Um, and just if you are deaf and you just watch the entire series on mute and just take a look at the screen, you're going to enjoy. Henry Cavill is beautiful. I'm Yennefer is not my type, but a
She's
lot
still
of
beautiful.
people, yeah, a lot of people find her stunningly beautiful. Her proportions are just insane from what I've heard. It's just like she's not my type. Siri, my God, like it is, it that is a sight to see. And she acted, she did not disappear in the screen when an amazing presence and actor Henry Cavill was there. So that's very impressive. When she was trying hard about her training and trying to be brave and trying to be better, I believe it. So I really enjoy that. Even even the character was slightly not the best character, but even Triss was, I found pretty well. She was a redhead.
She's a lot prettier now than first season.
The elf, yeah, Francesca the elf, super cute. Like
well, yeah.
It's like
Jaskier.
So there's so fucking Jaskier.
Even
Jaskier annoyed me. Like, you traitor.
I loved him.
You're supposed to be the comic relief. You can't be the hot comic relief. Just pick fucking one.
I love his first scene with Geralt. Or, fuck it.
Fuck it. Oh my God. So and
then I have to say goodbye to my friends. I made friends. Get over it.
Don't be jealous.
You need to work on 3 rats. You need to work on your melodies. So yeah, it is a solid 9.5. Great story, great action, great pace. My advice, piggybacking of what CHUBAX said, is and RJ, you have to watch the first season. You just have to, because this is not something that you can just like pop on in the background. You have to pay attention a little bit, which is great, because if it's something that you can just pop in the background, it means that it's not going to have that high ceiling. You need to have a little bit of investment in it. I also wanted to add advice that what CHUBAX mentioned about the different timelines in season 1. It's exacerbated because the characters do not age. So that's
right.
That's the
Except
one that
for they fucked up with Jaskier.
Did he age? Or was he supposed to age?
He should have. Yeah,
should have.
He's human. So
no,
there was supposed to be
no. Although it's explained in the game why he doesn't age.
Oh, because the showrunner mentioned that she fucked up there in the series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but in the video game, they explained.
Not even age. Maybe they should have just put some visual cue that said it's a different time, like maybe different hair or something.
Yeah, a beard.
Mustache.
Right.
Yeah, so that's
but in the game, just to share, in the game, why Jaskier didn't age is because he was drinking so much with Geralt in the past that he's also been drinking the potions that Geralt was using, which kind of prolonged this scene.
It's cute. I hope that they'll put that in. But yeah, that's the thing, is like, it's highly confusing because like some people age, some people die, and there's decades in between. But Yennefer and Geralt looks the same, the people that you see on screen all the time in the first season. So that confused me a lot. Power through, it's still good, but it's just confusing. And like what CHUBAX mentioned, like they wanted to try something different. They wanted to try something cool. It wasn't bad, but it didn't work. But I love the idea that they pivoted. Like, season 2, very straightforward, very video game like. I love, and my favorite part, and that's what I'll end with, is fucking give me any training montage,
Fuck yeah.
And then you put a training montage with Siri on it. God damn it, let's go. Yeah. Let's fucking go. So that's I love, again, every season, every episode, thoroughly enjoyed. This is one of those, if whoever next girlfriend, next wife, I'd love to rewatch the series with them. 10, 15 years from now, when I have a kid, I want to rewatch the series with them too. All right. So
Yeah,
that's kind
man.
of like I'm very, very excited about the series. The thing that makes me excited the most is, or a couple of things. One, um, uh, uh, the first part is Henry Cavill's intention or commitment, or he intends to do the 7 season commitment. I think 7 season is perfect. 7 seasons is perfect.
Mm.
So I'm excited about that. And two, because of the improvement, like it's very hard to improve on really, really good series, but even just the efficiency and the cleaning up from season 1 to season 2 was evident. I'm so excited what they can do in season 3, even if they just to continue this pace, 8 episodes, couple of episodes set up, maybe one filler, couple of episodes of super action, couple of episodes of super magic, and couple of episodes to set up the next season. I'm in. So this is one of, like, I think they have a wonderful formula. They have a wonderful cast. Just kudos to everybody involved, because like top down, even like the way Netflix has been promoting this, having those, they have a lot of vignettes after, like the making of, even like the
Yeah.
spin-off series, they have a little snippet about that. It's like, this is great. And this is, I wish like more people support it, and then we can have, like, I want to stick with the 7 season, but maybe instead of giving them $150 million for one season, maybe 200, 250, like, go balls out. Like even the CGI looks great, prosthetics look great, but what more if they can do even better? So I'm already, they can maintain this, I'm gonna be delighted, but it shows that they might even improve more. So that is our discussion of The Witcher season 2. And again, a reminder for next week, Book of Boba Fett, episode 3.
Yeah.
Join us in the discussion. Drop your comments on the episode, and we'll discuss. We reply, and we appreciate every single interaction that you have with us. Our 1A movie of the week next week will be Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm very excited. Right after this recording, I'm gonna jump in, watch it. Paul Rudd is my dude. And trailers look great. I have no clue. I don't know the insights yet. I have not read any reviews, so I'm going in blind. I'm hoping that I enjoy this. And we have Eternals. Again, I'm very excited
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen this in the cinema. I've seen this as, I have thoughts. It's super long. I think there's going to be a lively discussion. We might have differing opinions of the story. So I'm very excited for my brothers to watch this. And again, as an extra, thank you very much for your support. Thank you very much for watching our shows. But if you have not yet, please go on YouTube, on that search bar, search +63HP, go to our channel, click like, click subscribe. It helps our channel out with the algorithms. We're so close to our first goal of 100 subs, so that we can get our
100.
vanity URL. We can finally have youtube.com/+63HP instead of, if you want to launch us directly from your browser, you still have to type in bit.ly/+63HP. So we are excited to cross that threshold. We are on Twitter, at +63HP, same handle on Instagram. You'll find thumbnails and descriptions of our shows there if you've missed anything. If you just want to listen to us, if like right now, you only see two faces and the handsome face is not on your screen. If you just want to listen to us, whatever app you're using for your podcast, search +63HP, and we will be there. Apple Podcasts, we're there. Spotify, we're there. Amazon, we're there. So we got you covered globally. So that's it for the extra. Final goodbyes, CHUBAX.
Yeah, thank you. Keep watching. Got so many content coming. A lot of new shows. So we enjoy any comment that you send. Any like is always appreciated. So see you next time.
RJ, final goodbyes.
If just mirroring what Jong mentioned, if you haven't yet, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell your mothers, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, tell everyone to do the same so that you guys can hear more of us, give our thoughts on these series. And of course, if you think that your opinion is conflicting with ours, we welcome you to comment on this episode. We'll get back to you. And we'd like to make more friends. So thank you guys.
And again, thank you very much. We appreciate all the support. We will continue to provide you with as good a content as we can provide. Every recording that we do, we're improving. We're trying our best. We're enjoying. Hope you enjoy with us. And with that, thank you very much. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.